Good evening. My name is Wendy Aarons-Corman. I am not your Virgin Atlantic stewardess. I am the CEO of Owit Global. Just to give you a little background, I was one of the founders of a company called Duck Creek Technologies. The interesting story about Duck Creek was when we started, we had a great idea to make some changes in how the industry basically put products to market. Tool-based, XML, web-based, right? And everybody else was buying coded solutions. So when we started getting into the industry, it was a really hard push to change the way that people were doing things. But eventually, people caught on. Other vendors started to re-architect their solutions to be tool-based, web-based, and then the competition started. But we had a good foothold, and we did a great job growing the company. So Owit Global is a provider of microservices. I feel like I'm doing this all over again in the sense of trying to get everyone updated and an understanding of what microservices are and why they're important. How many people here are using microservices or have built microservices? Okay. And how many people are planning on using microservices? Okay. So that's good to know. Not a lot. So maybe this session will give you an idea of exactly what it is and why it's important. Okay? Or maybe not. Which way? Hello. Sorry, guys. My 5 minutes up? The one on the right? Exactly. Okay, I thought it was the center. So we're looking at, the legacy system. So there's a lot of legacy systems out there. People have made an enormous amount of investment in that. And so as they look at their investments, they say, should I replace my legacy? And by the time they replace their legacy systems, they're legacy systems. I met a guy last week. He had 72 legacy systems, and they were absolutely at a halt of what to do, right? So with the legacy systems, we're learning that the automation of new insurance products takes a lot of time. It's hard to web enable at times. The testing cycles are very long because it takes a lot of time to test everything that's in there. And then it's just a very costly undertaking, right? We all have experience with legacy systems. And we're all digitally challenged. I can't even say it. We're digitally challenged. So data transfer is becoming the means for communication. We are looking at secured encrypted channels. And all of these systems need to work together seamlessly. So legacy systems, which are having difficulty, need to bridge a gap to get to the digital ecosystem. This is not as exciting as driving and all this stuff. This is real core stuff, guys. We got to think about this. So here's a couple of examples of industry challenges that I'll talk to. Buyers require a single view into carrier platforms. I mean, we're working with customers who have multiple back-end systems that are legacies, and they need a single view into multiple systems. And another thing is that some of these operational efficiency ideas, i.e. border-owned management, it's all manual today, right? So microservices are these small, autonomous, insurance-specific pieces that can extend the legacy system. You can take your legacy system now and be able to extend those to do other things. And when you push them together, they also create solutions. So let's think of it in terms of a recipe. When you have sugar and flour, baking soda, maybe vanilla and butter, you put those together, you might make some cookies. You can add a few other ingredients to that, and you might decide to make a cake, right? Or you can add more ingredients and make a pie. You can do whatever you want when you have your ingredients. Microservices are ingredients, okay? And I'm going to show you some examples of that. So first off, they are reusable. So they're all little pieces. Maybe I should go on to the next piece, but they're reusable, they're scalable, and they're replaceable. So in other words, when you get all the pieces together and you build a product, you can replace them at some point if you need to replace them. It's not like changing a complete legacy system. You can do a piece. There's a lower cost of maintenance. They communicate through APIs. It's a great way to expand your system. The Owit Global Microservices Catalog is building. We have a number of microservices that are available today. Those are in the blue. We are continuing to build others. If you look at the bottom, you can buy the individual microservices and use those and connect those to your systems, but you can also push them together to create solutions, right? And we also have a configurable no-code environment. It is purely no-code. It's a drag and drop, and that's how you configure your microservices. So here's back to these challenges that we were talking about before in terms of a single view into the products, bordereau management. And here's, I'm going to give you a little bit of a, I don't know how to do, what's that? One more clip? Okay. So this is a little video that we have on our social media around Owit Global Microservices. You could use the microservices individually, i.e. rating or rules, right? But when you start to combine those microservices together, they create solutions. So here, user experience, rules, integration, and a login gives you a portal solution, right? Can I end it when I want to end it, by the way? Okay, yeah. Just a couple of examples here. Some more microservices come together, point of sale. And all of these gears or microservices are reusable. So if you license them for a project, you can reuse those for other projects. And here's our bordereau solution. Okay. So I'm going to kind of skip over. So just to give you an idea, so taking your, here's bordereau management. Right now, today, it's completely manual. Excel spreadsheets are coming in. And what's happening is they're manually being entered into systems in the back end. Our bordereau management solution is built on microservices. It's very open. It's drag and drop. It allows the user to configure that mapping and all of the fields that need to go into the back-end system. It's all built on microservices. And then one of the things that we always talk about is the fact the future of the digital platforms and the ecosystems. In order to connect to those eventually, you're going to need to connect to those, and microservices are going to do that. And the reason that this, I think, is a very important picture is because ultimately we just don't know what that's going to look like. So yeah, there might be an app today, no offense to the app guys, but eventually there might be an ecosystem that brings everything to one, grabs information, brings it to the user, and you have to be able to connect to those ecosystems. So we think about the future of the digital platform. The other part of microservices that we think is going to change, we believe that they're going to become more intelligent. It's going to create a frictionless workflow so that systems will be able to work together. And then, of course, data will flow through the APIs. So in this picture, this is a really good picture here because today what we're doing is we're extending legacy systems for customer engagement, channel expansion, complementary products. In the future, we see IoT, blockchain, and new business models. And microservices will be there and ready to take on those challenges. And we have a really great team. I told you about my time at Duck Creek. Julian James in the UK, he leads our EMEA effort. He built Duck Creek over there. Ethan Whitaker, he's a great innovation guy. Again, we bought his billing system at Duck Creek, and he's building our systems for us. And then we have a couple of other guys who have deep experience in the insurance industry for what they do, our financial officer, our product officer. So microservices, they aren't going to break your bank. It's a very affordable approach to fixing problems. You can start small and then eventually expand through it. We consider this brick to be your legacy system. Let me see where I am here. So basically, you can go out and buy microservices and get your recipe pieces, if you'd like, and then you can reuse them and create new things. Or if you want, you can just go to the store and you can just buy a cake. You have to pick which one you want. So that's it.
Thank you, Wendy. Any questions? I'll go there.
Are you guys building all the microservices yourself, or are you, okay.
We are.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So there's a development environment for like AWS and Microsoft and all those. They each have a development environment with microservices and development tools.
Right.
And what you guys have done is built the ingredients that are insurance tech specific.
Insurance-specific microservices.
And just focusing on those. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, they're excellent. And, we have rules, rating, doc services. There's been, look, I've been around for a while, and I've watched all the different software solutions come through. If you look at document generation, for example, there are software packages out there that you can buy that are very expensive. but you don't really use most of the capabilities of those software packages, right? So if you take a DocGen microservice and all it does is generate a document, it solves the problem at a low cost.
Actually, so your customers can be much more responsive in terms
Yeah.
of like adding a microservice as it's necessary to add. That's pretty flexible.
Right.
Okay, last question. Sorry. Is this some? Do you guys have internal? Because there's going to be a learning curve to figure out how to use your platform. It's almost like a WordPress on steroids, maybe. Is that a way to think about it?
What's on steroids?
It's like a WordPress except it's like way better, of course,
Right,
certainly.
right. Well, I mean, if you look at the tool-based systems that are out there today, they're complex, right? And so what we've done is we've created a no-code environment that's basically a canvas, and all of the workflow is all drag and drop. There's generic workflow for like rules that are already in there that you can pick from, that you can reuse. On the user experience service, you can create any portal for any distribution, dragging and dropping the experience page by page. So focusing more so on the transactional side versus like a UI type of thing. So yeah, it's really great. Yeah.
Great presentation. I'm sold on microservices. In fact, I'm using it for my healthcare digital medicine startup. The weakness I find, especially in using it in healthcare, it doesn't matter whether you're on AWS or Amazon or IBM or whatever. The weakness I find is number one is in the management of the APIs, versioning and so on, testing for the performance. Actually,
Right.
testing is one,
Yep.
and performance is the other.
Yep.
And healthcare, I think our domain is a little more critical about that. Security is another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you deal with that in your realm?
So what do we do
Thank
for
you.
that? Yeah, so in terms of performance, we have a team that focuses on performance. We actually have brought in a third party to test our microservices as they get released to make sure that they perform so that we can tell our customers how they are performing. And in terms of the security aspect of it, I'm not really understanding. I mean, we, as a company, in terms of what we're dealing with security, or are you talking more in terms of like the user experience side of it, or?
No, the app itself. Because when you go to test a particular app or component, you want to get it certified.
Yep.
And a lot of the healthcare apps now are put under the FDA, software for medical devices, software for medical devices.
Right.
So very stringent on the security part and performance.
Right.
It's going to be a repeatable application. So it's a little more complex domain.
Right, on the healthcare side it is, definitely.
But it's still the underlying technology is still the same, actually.
No, I understand. I mean, we abide by whatever, secure, we get the questions all the time from our insurance carriers in terms of what we're doing there. So we have a plan that we're actually working on right now that was supposed to be completed by the end of the year to be in compliance. And we've hired a company to come in and check us for compliance as well. So whether that's exactly what you're looking for or not, it's probably pretty close. Yeah. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, we can, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, sorry.